Hello, everyone. I chose strategic leadership from Chapter 12 of Strategic Management, Competitiveness, and Globalization by Hitt, Ireland, and Hoskisson for this presentation, as I'm actually a project manager in healthcare construction for Ascension, Texas, which I have a lot of leadership challenges in my everyday life. So it fits really well. What is strategic leadership? It's the ability of leaders in any form to anticipate changes, to create a vision, make informed decisions, manage and allocate resources effectively, and really influence the people around them to achieve long term success for the organization. These leaders not only focus on today's issues and how to solve them, but how to prepare the organization for future opportunities and challenges it'll face in the competitive world. Strategic leadership requires a lot of balance between immediate needs and long term organizational goals, which is a bit different from operational management, where it only concentrates on daily activities. With the right type of leader, they can create an environment where employees can make their own informed decisions while adapting to everyday changes and continuing and improving organizational performance. As healthcare companies such as Ascension, the one I'm presenting today, become more complex, strategic leadership will become increasingly important to effectively coordinate through multiple departments, technologies, regulations, and stakeholders, while also maintaining patient care. Strategic leadership at Ascension. This is the concept in the book that stood out to me the most, as it directly relates to my role in healthcare project management at Ascension. My responsibilities include coordinating construction projects that involve renovation or new builds of imaging equipment rooms, operating rooms, clinics, and other healthcare facilities all around the Austin area. Most projects involve a lot of coordination between architects, contractors, equipment vendors, clinical staff, finance, leadership, and all of them have a different way in which I manage the relationships. Strategic leadership is especially important when every decision can impact the project and organization, depending on cost, schedule, regulatory compliance, and ultimately what's best for patient care and safety. Quality control is quality control is probably the biggest driver in how I run my projects. A great example of this is when I receive construction drawings and there's errors, specifications change unexpectedly, the regulatory compliance drives up cost, and so on. I have to figure out alternative solutions to present to leadership and understand what's best for the organization operationally. Any change can affect the leader's overall financial performance in the department and could potentially cause patient care to decline. Another example is when I have to coordinate multiple vendors where each one is dependent on the other. And if one of the contractors falls behind schedule and can't meet the go live date, I have to communicate with the strategic leaders on which path is best for their operations, whether it's adjusting timelines, reallocating resources, negotiating new solutions, or all of those together. I just had a vendor miss a critical first patient deadline, and I had to work closely with the department leadership, which also escalated the issue to the COO of Texas to develop a recovery plan and minimize further delays. The missed deadline caused cancellation 2 weeks worth of patients, resulting in lost revenue and heightened frustration from patients whose care was delayed. The textbook states that to have an effective leader is one that encourages collaboration, communicates clearly, and aligns employees toward the common objectives of the organization. I experience this on a daily basis as effective communications, not only through individual departments, but also through the entire organization. How AI changes strategic leadership. Artificial intelligence is proving to transform most, if not all, organizations in the way that strategic leadership will affect all aspects of the business, especially project management. Project management managers traditionally spend a considerable amount of time gathering information from all types of different sources, whether it's emails, notes, meeting notes, schedules, budgets, and vendor updates before making informed decisions. AI can automate most of the information by gathering and monitoring the project schedules, identifying risks, analyzing historical data, and generating recommendations to leadership so they can focus more on their other priorities. AI is also effective in improving communication across departments, as AI can translate and summarize lengthy project meetings into meeting minutes, identify unresolved action items, and list out in a uniform and professional way so it can automatically distribute these updates to stakeholders. I'm now using Gemini and other forms of AI like chat and Claude to reduce my meeting minutes and the professional information I have to send back out to leadership. And it reduces the amount of administrative work I have to do while also improving organizational transparency. A lot of the time, I can't get my words to be effective in the way I prefer. So using a form of AI helps me sound more professional and come across as more knowledgeable to leadership. Another AI application that's useful is budgeting, where AI can analyze change orders, labor costs, supply chain disruptions, and historical spending patterns to estimate future project costs with greater accuracy than leaders can make final decisions before budgets become a critical issue. In healthcare organizations, there's an enormous amount of regulatory documentation, so AI can help monitor compliance requirements and identify missing documentation before inspections occur, reducing organizational risk. The largest point here is that AI should never replace strategic leadership, as human capital and judgment is still a powerful asset in organizations. These types of projects in the healthcare environments require a lot of judgment, ethical decision making, relationship building, negotiation, and understanding organizational priorities. And it's not just about financials, but patient safety and care. AI can provide a lot of really valuable information. Experienced leaders must still evaluate recommendations, communicate with stakeholders, and make final decisions in a way that AI cannot. Right now, the future is uncertain, but clear that most successful organizations with this new technological development will combine human leadership with AI to make decisions that are best suited for the long-term goals of the company. Benefits and challenges of AI. AI does offer many benefits, such as faster decision-making, improved forecasting, enhanced communication, and reduced administrative work and better resource planning. But it also presents several challenges that strategic leaders must address. Along with the benefits of AI also comes the challenges organizations must recognize, where AI systems are only as reliable as the data they receive and are trained on. If there's poor communication, inaccurate schedules, or forecasting, it can produce misleading recommendations. There's also a need in healthcare organizations where there's an enormous amount of confidential patient information and sensitive organizational data. When Ascension had a cyber attack a couple of years ago, everything went to paper, and nurses, doctors, and a lot of staff quit, as well as organization losing numerous patients. Therefore, it's very important to have strong cybersecurity and governance policies, as AI can access this information. The other issue is that employees' trust is sensitive, and staff members may not want to rely on AI-generated recommendations if they don't understand how the decisions are made, or if AI is giving them information that doesn't make sense to them. Strategic leaders must protect the organization and its employees by balancing technological innovation with transparency, ethical responsibilities, and human judgment. Key takeaways in this. In the conclusion to this presentation, strategic leadership still remains one of the more important capabilities of an organization. The textbook states that successful leaders are able to develop a vision, guide the organizational changes in the right direction, and make informed decisions that create long-term value. AI is changing the way in which organizations and leaders collect information, analyze risks, coordinate projects, and the list goes on. Even though AI can greatly improve efficiency and decision making, it will never be able to replace human leadership qualities such as communication, ethics, collaboration, and professional judgment. Future strategic leaders will really need to understand how both leadership principles and emerging AI work together to maintain competitiveness in today's changing world. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation.